Okay, welcome in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. And thank you for being here. We got it. We got the coffee. Mm. Good coffee. Episode show number 78 of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Glad to have you here. This morning's low in Jacksonville, Florida, 48 on Sunday morning, December the 14th. The Icemen won last night. They called it the teddy bear toss. I think after the Icemen scored the first goal, teddy bears were thrown on the ice, and there were like over 16,000. All those teddy bears going to charity. That's a really cool event. And the Icemen won the hockey game, too, over the South Carolina Stingrays. Jacksonville Icemen 5, South Carolina Stingrays 3. Final score right here in Jacksonville, the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Jacksonville Icemen 5, South Carolina Stingrays 3. The Icemen struggling some of late, but they've got their record back up to 500. They're 12-12 with 24 games in on the season. When we talk Icemen hockey, that's obviously a part of North Florida entertainment. The Jaguars still in first place. Are they hanging by a thread? Because the two teams that are behind them are just one game back. So you got to keep winning. It simply means that it's all in your control. The Jaguars win all their games. They're going to be AFC South champions. Do I think they win all their games? No. Do I think they go 2-2 down the stretch? Probably. If they win more than 2 games, they're going to win the division. That's my opinion. If they go 2-2, they might win the division, or it could end up tied. But the Jags, unless they completely fall apart, they should be in the playoffs. 11 wins will get them in the playoffs, whether it's sadly a wild card or if they can hang on and win this division, the AFC South, we call it. So, the offensive line has been playing better. What's the guy's name? Cole Van Lanham. Van Lanham's been playing great football. Had a really good game against the Colts, and the Jags did not give up a sack. And he filled in at left tackle for Walker Little. With Van Lanham playing so well, does he stay at left tackle? That is the question. And, Coach Liam Cohen may go with the hot hand. He likes to go for it a lot on fourth down. Sometimes he'll go for a 2-point conversion when maybe he shouldn't. But sometimes we like it, especially when they score the 2 points, right? So what's the key with the Jaguars? Well, going down the stretch, in my mind, the offensive line coming to play, the quarterback protecting the ball. Trevor really completed a little bit over 50% of his passes. Not a great game against the Colts, but he protected the football. 2 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Turnovers in that game with the Colts. I believe the Colts turned it over 3 times. The Jaguars turned it over just once. A Brayshaw toot and fumble that the Jaguars lost. 1 turnover, we can deal with that in the course of a game. And especially when you get 3 Apple turnovers, right? A couple of interceptions in the last game. And the DBs are playing well for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The linebackers have been good. The defensive line now is in a stretch of where they're actually pressuring the quarterback really good during this winning streak. The winning streak is at what now? 4 games. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are 9-4 and lead the AFC South Division by 1 game over the Colts and 1 game over the Houston Texans. Tennessee Titans long out of it. I think the Titans are 2-12 now. So that's kind of where we stand in the division. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital. For your real estate needs in North Florida, see Larry Saucer. It's a holiday time of the year. People are thinking about, what's going to happen in 2026? Maybe you're looking to sell your home, buy a new home, buy a second home. Contact Saucer Realty and Capital. And by the way, their website You can find them easily by going to bigjreport.com, scrolling our North Florida weather reports in about 2 different areas on the homepage. 48 degrees here in Jacksonville on Sunday morning, December the 14th, as we record this podcast at about 7:11 a.m. on Sunday morning, December the 14th. It is 48 degrees. It's going to be much colder tonight. Low temperatures going down to 35. And last night I'm saying, man, the forecast is saying winds light and variable for now. But now the winds are going to be picking up out of the northwest at about 10 to 15 to as much as 24 miles per hour. Clear and cool during the daytime, but turning colder late tonight. Low temperature late tonight on Sunday night. About 35 by late Sunday night and early Monday morning here in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, it's cool out there now, 48 degrees. Jaguars playing the Jets at home. The Jaguars are 9-4. The New York Jets are 3-10. Just mentioning that is kind of scary in itself. Jets due to win a game. Jaguars, man, are they due? Man, you make a couple of mistakes against any team in the NFL, you can go down to defeat. That's true. We'll take a look at the line in a little bit. We're brought to you by Mad Max with the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. Great show on Wednesday nights, and Max will play Steely Dan for me, Atlanta Rhythm section. Great songs. And Mad Max's show is on Wednesday nights, the madmaxmix.weebly.com. I get interviewed by Max about maybe once or twice a month or so. There's other people that go on the show. Even JC from Lake Eufaula Hits goes on the show too, and he's our executive producer here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast. So, hey, it's one really nice family here of things we do, and we're glad to have you tuned in. Again, we're brought to you by the madmaxmix.weebly.com. Max's show is on Wednesday nights. Again, Mad Max's show is on Wednesday nights from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And he also has what I kind of call is an encore after his show, where he plays some longer tracks, longer songs. So check out the Mad Max Mix each Wednesday night, 6 to 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time at the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. Best way to describe Max's show is he plays music pop classics, but also a lot of classic rock songs from days gone by, and even a lot of groups that may not be recording anymore. Some are still touring. Some don't have any original members left, but Max brings them back to life on the madmaxmix.weebly.com on Wednesday nights, and truly great music on the madmaxmix.weebly.com. So Max has a great show on Wednesday nights, and then the next night, Thursday night, you got JC live from the pub at LakeEufaulaHits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. If I didn't do it, I think I did it on the last podcast, JC. Thank you for playing Gordon Lightfoot for me, Sundown. JC also played, gosh, what was the other song he played for me? Accidents Will Happen. Elvis Costello, right? So great music, whether it's the madmaxmix.weebly.com on Wednesday nights or JC's live from the pub show on Thursday nights from LakeEufaulaHits.com. You can find these shows by going to our website at bigjreport.com. Scroll the Neighbors 2 section for the concerts, the links for Mad Max's show, and JC's live from the pub show on Thursday nights from Lake Eufaula Hits. So those are our sponsors. We're about 9 minutes in now. By the way, I was going to tell you, as far as Mad Max goes, there's actually, there's a little article we did about Mad Max in the Outside the Box section that you can check out. Some old pictures in the Outside the Box section. I kind of refer to bigjreport.com as an internet newspaper / magazine. Check us out. BigJReport.com. We update the weather every single day. You've got weather updated for North Florida and surrounding areas. And you'll find a link for Saucer Realty and Capital within our North Florida weather reports. Rains Vikings won the state championship in high school football. Bowls got beat in the final game, but the Rains Vikings have come home. They had what an exciting game. They won by 1 point, and we'll run down some of the high school football scores. Might as well do that now while it's kind of on our mind. This is episode show number 78. I also, and I do this from time to time, I also want to dedicate this Teal Shirt Report podcast episode show number 78 to a guy that I really liked. I never met him personally, but he was on social media, and he sadly passed away, Lehman Northway. He was in our Big J Report Facebook group. When I met him online several years ago, he said, man, I love your website. I'm a big Jaguars fan. And JC will understand what I'm going to say. Lehman was battling a disease, and I'm not going to go into all the details of the disease he was battling, I think, for many years. Nice guy, super nice guy, big Jaguars fan. And how he became a Jaguars fan way up in Iowa was he got a Jaguars jacket. Kind of like JC, kind of like you got that Buffalo Bills jacket when you were a kid. He got a Jacksonville Jaguars jacket when he was a kid. And he became a Jacksonville Jaguars fan due to that memorabilia. And let me tell you, the memorabilia is coming out now with a record of 9-4. But Lehman had always been a Jaguars fan. Lehman Northway was born in 1986, passed away. I just found this out in the last 24 to 48 hours. He did pass away back in October. Sometimes you get alerted to these things on social media. Sometimes you don't. But I did some research, and yes, Lehman sadly has passed away. He was just 39 years old, lost his battle with the disease he was fighting. And once I research the disease, and we'll probably bring it out here in future podcasts as well, but we want to dedicate this program, episode show number 78, to the memory of the late Lehman Northway, big Jaguars fan. And we'll salute Jaguars fans on here. There's a lot of them, and I'm so sad for Lehman's family. He had kids as well. But great Jaguars fan. He was so nice to me as well. I did want to salute Lehman Northway in loving memory during our podcast today. Let's take a look at actually some of the high school football scores. Most of these games were all like state championship games for the most part. Let's take a look at and you can go to bigjreport.com, scroll the homepage, and you'll find the high school football scores. And I think we've got most of the scores, not all the scores, but a lot of the scores from the season, the playoffs. You can see, how your team did in certain weeks of the season. For now, they'll be up there for a little while longer. But the latest thing we've got is, Bowls got beat, Rains won. High school football state of Florida championship games. There were actually a couple of games on Saturday night, December the 13th. American Heritage 33, Orlando Jones 28, a final. Vero Beach was, they had Lake Mary beaten on the ropes, and Lake Mary came back and won the game. They came back and won late in the game on it was kind of reminiscent of the Doug Flutie at Boston College touchdown pass. Not only did the guy catch the ball around the 5-yard line, but he broke a tackle inside the 5 and scored the winning touchdown for Lake Mary. Lake Mary 28, Vero Beach 27, the final score on Saturday night, December the 13th of 2025. Lake Mary from Central Florida, now a state champion. I think John Gaylor might have said this is their first state championship ever. That's exciting. The Lake Mary victory over Vero Beach, and it was a come-from-behind victory, obviously. I think they were behind in this game by as much as like 27-11 at one time, came from behind. I think Vero Beach gave up a safety when the guy was deep to punt, and that cost him. Man, that strategy will cost you sometimes. Lake Mary won the game. Lake Mary 28. That's Lake Mary 28, Vero Beach 27. Final score on Saturday night, December the 13th of 2025. High school football from a few days earlier, 3A Florida State Championship game. Rains won the game, and Rains came from behind to win their game too by 1 point. Man, these state championship games were exciting, and that's good for the fans. This game was played far away from Jacksonville, right? Miami Northwestern got beat by Rains. Miami Northwestern had the lead in this game, but Rains won at the end. Rains 23, Miami Northwestern 22. Final score on Friday night, December the 12th of 2025. 6 Apple turnovers combined in this one, and the Jacksonville Rains Vikings win the state title. The 3A Florida State Championship goes to Rains. Rains 23, Miami Northwestern 22. A final on Friday night, December the 12th of 2025. The Rains Vikings, the Jacksonville Rains Vikings win the title. And by the way, that's a 3A state of Florida state championship game. And the Rains Vikings won the title. They've won a couple of state championships going back a few years ago. And I think this is at least number 3, maybe even number 4 if you go back a long, long time ago. Rains has won multiple state championships, obviously, in their existence for many, many years. They've been a powerhouse in football. The Jacksonville, Florida Rains Vikings win the title in 3A. The 2A Florida State Championship game, Cardinal Mooney sadly disposed of Bowles. And I believe Cardinal Mooney is from Sarasota. Cardinal Mooney is from Sarasota. This game was played way down in Miami, so Bowles had to travel a long way. And that shouldn't be an excuse, but you know, some of these when they play at a neutral field, sometimes you don't get a lot of people filling up the stands, you know. And this is a championship game. Cardinal Mooney, and of course, the game was a bit of a blowout, so maybe some of the people left early. But I saw the stands, like a picture of the stands in the third or fourth quarter. Cardinal Mooney had the game well in hand at that time, and it looked like there were a lot of empty seats. Cardinal Mooney, 52, Bowles, 28, a final. This game was played also on Wednesday night, December the 10th of 2025. So a Wednesday night game is not really even ideal for fans from Jacksonville to travel down there. I don't really like the Wednesday night format for high school football state championship games. Cardinal Mooney won that game. Cardinal Mooney 52. The Bulls Bulldogs 28, a final on Wednesday night, December the 10th of 2025. Also we'll mention that Carver, Mad Max knows about Carver up in Columbus, Georgia. They're 14-0. They will play a state championship game, and their game is actually on Tuesday of this upcoming week. I was thinking at first they were going to play Saturday, and then I did some researching, and their game is actually coming up on Tuesday. And for the high school football scores, go to our website, bigjreport.com, and please scroll our homepage. We'll be happy that you did. Also on our screen this morning, college football playoff, the 12 teams Ole Miss will battle Tulane. All these games are just a few days away now. The college football playoff, that's what we're down to, 12 teams. And not everybody's happy. Notre Dame did not make the playoff. They turned down a bowl bid because they were mad about not making the playoff. The 12 teams in the college football playoff, Ole Miss will play Tulane. Alabama will play Oklahoma in a first-round game, and that's a rematch of about a month ago when Oklahoma beat Alabama 23-21. I think it probably goes differently this time. James Madison at Oregon. Miami of Florida Hurricanes will play Texas A&M. And then those winners will move to the next round. And then the teams that got buys, the 4 teams with buys, include Indiana, the Big Ten champions, Georgia, the SEC champions, Texas Tech, the Big 12 champions. And Ohio State was the Big Ten runner-up, and they get a bye. But, Ohio State was 12-1. Their only loss was the championship game of the Big Ten that they lost 13-10 to Indiana. So exciting college football coming up. Jaguars playing the Jets. Oh, by the way, for concert information, there's some good concerts coming up, especially in 2026. Foreigner and Lou Graham rejoining Foreigner in 2026. It's either called The Final Frontier or The Last Frontier. Journey will be in concert. I believe it's in May of 2026. But for the exact dates, go to our concert listings at bigjreport.com and scroll the Neighbors 2 section, if you would. Talking about the Jaguars game, 21 minutes in on the podcast. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital for your real estate needs in North Florida, whether it's home, residential, or business or commercial real estate. That's home, residential, business, or commercial real estate. Saucer Realty and Capital. A link for Saucer Realty and Capital on our homepage. We're also brought to you by the MadMaxMix.weebly.com and Mad Max's request show. He plays music, pop classics, classic rock requests too. And he'll give you his phone number early in the show where you can call him, or better yet, text him. It's a little bit quicker. JC is a show on Thursday nights. JC's show is live from the pub on Thursday nights. Great show on Thursday nights from LakeUpallahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. We got links to all of these shows in the Neighbors 2 section. There's an article about Mad Max in the Outside the Box section, and a link at the end of the article for, of course, Mad Max's show on Wednesday nights. Click on the link, and hey, you're listening to the show by clicking that arrow once you get on the site at madmaxmix.weebly.com. As far as the Jaguars go, we talked about Trevor, 2 touchdowns in the last game and 2 touchdown passes and no interceptions. That's kind of what we mean about the quarterback protecting the football. No turnovers, no dumb plays. Trevor was not perfect, and he was not great in this game, but he was good. He was good. And that's the kind of play you need. And I think Trevor can even be better. But sometimes to be better, you take more chances, and then sometimes, the interceptions or mistakes come into play more. Time will tell on Trevor Lawrence. And, he's going to be great at every game. I'm not going to say it was a great game. I'm going to say it was a good game. We're seeing a little more consistency out of Trevor protecting the football, at least in the Colts game. As our executive producer, JC, said, we need to see more consistency. We have seen the glimmers and glimpses of really a great offense at times. But again, the key is the offensive line coming to play. And Cole Van Lanham played great at left tackle. The Jaguars' offensive line did not give up any sacks to the Colts defense against the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence last week. You got to keep him upright. He did pass a little bit over 50%. ETN scored 2 touchdowns, got the tough yards too. ETN got right around 20 carries and 74 yards and 2 touchdown runs. Temperatures this morning: Brunswick 52, Bernardino Beach 57, Waycross 49. Here in Jacksonville, 48 at about 7:30 in the morning. So the key thing, and the winning streak, the 4-game winning streak the Jaguars were on, I'm going to actually say the main reason why the Jags have gone on this winning streak is not so much Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence is part of it. It's a team winning streak. Trevor Lawrence, ETN is running well, 2 touchdowns in the Colts game. But the defensive line pressure has been the key. That's why the Jaguars are winning games. The defensive line pressure is the key to the winning streak. Josh Allen, during this winning streak, I think he's got a sack in almost every game. And I know we got a sack in the Colts game. I know that the Colts did not get any sacks on Trevor Lawrence, so we applaud the offensive line. Now it's the New York Jets, the 3-10 New York Jets. And we'll take a look this morning and today at the latest line. The New York Jets playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a home game, too. And let's attempt to find some lines, or at least a line on this particular game today. It is absolutely Sunday, December the 14th. How about the Navy-Army game, or Army-Navy game? I think they've always called it the Army-Navy game, Navy-Army game. A goes before N, I guess, Army-Navy game. Army was in front in this game, and Navy came back. Navy was favored to win. They ended up winning. Navy won. I wasn't even going to talk about this game, but I will say something about it. Navy won the game 17-16. I think Navy's got 10 wins now. Army's got 6 wins. They're both going to go to a bowl game. Navy had a great year with 10 wins, and they capped it off with a 17-16 win over Army. This Army-Navy game, you never know what can happen in this game. And if you watch the game and the effort and the expressions on the faces of the cadets and the folks at the game, it was in Baltimore. You take a look at the expressions of the faces of the players, the fans, and you know it's something special. And it's really, quite honestly, what college football should be about. Navy beat Army. Again, Navy beat Army 17-16. It was the Navy midshipmen 17, the Army cadets 16. In Baltimore, Navy wins the Army-Navy game. Navy 17 and Army 16 on Saturday, a Saturday afternoon on December the 13th. Let's pull up the line, shall we? College football playoffs coming up, a slew of bowl games. Notre Dame's not going to a bowl game. They turned down the bowl game, so that'll open up a spot, shall we say, for another team. We'll take a look at the line of today's game. This is a critical game. They're all critical now, especially when you take a look at a team like, we're supposed to win this game. These are the games the Jaguars have laid eggs on in the past, or laid eggs in the past, and let a team hang around. You get behind, you try to catch up. But the Jacksonville Jaguars, the truth of the matter is, they're 9-4. Could their record be less than 9-4? Not as good as 9-4? Yes. You win 2 overtime games. One of the games was on the road against the Raiders in Vegas. I know the Jags lost the game in the fourth quarter when they were like up 29-10 over Houston in Houston several weeks ago, and Houston came back and outscored the Jags like 26-0 in the fourth quarter. And that's a loss. You'd say, man, we should have won that one. But then you have the 2 overtime wins. The Jaguars have also won 2 games against teams when their quarterbacks got hurt. 2 overtime wins. Also, 2 wins where the opposing quarterback got hurt. The Chargers game when Herbert got hurt, and then in the Colts game where Daniel Jones got hurt, and now they've signed Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old quarterback who has not played, I think, in over 4 years. I was thinking it was like over maybe 2 years, but it's actually, he hasn't played in like over 4 years. He's signed with the Colts, and will he play in the first game he returns to? I would think not, but man, knowing Phillip Rivers, man, he's like the guy that, might wake up, fall out of bed, and he can throw the football. We'll find out, because he's going to get a chance to play, whether it's this week or next week. He's going to be in the lineup for the Indianapolis Colts down the stretch. And keep in mind, the Colts are just 1 game behind the Jaguars. The Texans are just 1 game behind the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 9-4. But the Colts are 8-5, still with playoff hopes. The Texans at 8-5 with playoff hopes, and I think the division winner and there will be a wild card team come from the AFC South. You look at the North, the team that leads that division is like Pittsburgh Steelers are like 7-6. Meanwhile, in the AFC South, the Jaguars are 9-4. The Colts are 8-5. The Colts are kind of floundering. They had a 2-game lead or more. I think they were leading the Jaguars by at least 2.5 games at one time. But the Colts have been dropping. And Daniel Jones got completely hurt in the Jaguars game, but he was banged up prior to that game with the Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars are 9-4. New York Jets are 3-10. Let's take a look at the line here. Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars at home, and we have not seen this very often. The Jacksonville Jaguars at home are a 13.5-point favorite. The over-under for this game is 41, right? That's not too many points. Here's what our source thinks. The Jacksonville Jaguars will win the game, and that's the most important thing. The Jacksonville Jaguars will win the game. How about this? The New York Jets will cover the spread, and the total will go over. And does this mean maybe the Jaguars' effort on the defensive line, the effort drops some against a team like the Jets? We'll find out. I hope not. But our source feels like the Jacksonville Jaguars will win the game at home, but the New York Jets will cover the spread, and the total will go over. The total I'm looking at is 41 points on the over-under. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a 13.5-point favorite. And I think our source doesn't think the Jets will cover the spread by much. I think our source, based on what I'm looking at, I think our source feels like the Jaguars will probably win this game by 10, 11, 12 points, but they won't cover the 13.5-point spread. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a 13.5-point favorite in this game with the New York Jets. The New York Jets are 3-10. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 9-4. This game being played today on Sunday, December the 14th. Kickoff at 1:00 p.m. at Everbank Stadium. JC, we're 32 minutes in. Do I have time to check the concerts? We can tell everybody to go to bigjreport.com, scroll the Neighbors 2 section. We gave you some high school football scores a little bit earlier. Reigns won a state title. Bowles came up just short in the championship game, but congratulations to Bowles on a great season. Lake Mary came from way behind to win their game over Vero Beach 28-27. The rest of the high school football scores are up on our website and our homepage at bigjreport.com. We'll go to the Neighbors 2 section, check the concerts. You can do the same thing. And there's a picture of Jackrabbits. We're kind of saluting a venue here in town in the San Marco area with a picture of the door leading into Jackrabbits, which is a smaller venue here in Jacksonville. I know Dick Dale played there years and years ago. I was told by a friend of mine a few years ago that he passed away too, Mr. Hoot. I knew him by Mr. Hoot. Let's take a look. Hoot Gibson. Hoot Gibson was the guy's name that passed away a few years ago. I used to run into him at some of the restaurants in the Five Points area. Okay, we'll take a look at concerts coming up. Everybody knows Leonard Skinner was here a few weeks back at Daly's Place next to the stadium at Everbank Stadium. Let's take a look at some shows coming up. Mad Max told me, and we had the show listed on here. As you know, we're gonna have to update. We're gonna have to update the listings again. But Three Dog Night was in concert at the River Center in Columbus, Georgia, back on Thursday night, December the 4th. But keep in mind, the Three Dog Night show has been completed already in Columbus, but you can still see Three Dog Night in Orange Park. That's right. Three Dog Night performing in Orange Park, Florida on December the 21st of 2025 at 7:00 p.m. at the Thrasher Horn Center in Orange Park, Florida, right here in Northeast Florida. And Orange Park, by the way, for those of you that aren't aware, most people in Jacksonville know Orange Park is just probably, depending on where you are in Jacksonville, it's probably a 10, 15, 20-minute drive over to Orange Park. So Three Dog Night will be performing in Orange Park, Florida on December the 21st of 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Thrasher Horn Center in Orange Park, Florida, right here in Northeast Florida. Singer Judy Collins. And JC, I'm not sure if you're aware of who she is, but you probably heard the song before. Singer Judy Collins from this her most famous song was a song called Both Sides Now. And I know you've heard the song, executive producer JC. Singer Judy Collins from Both Sides Now fame will be in concert on Wednesday night, January the 14th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Also, tickets on sale now for the Beach Boys. That's right, tickets on sale now while they last for the Beach Boys in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall on January the 26th of 2026. A lot of shows coming up in 2026. Also, Carla Bonoff, and her famous song is a song called Personally that she did back in the early to mid 80s. Carla Bonoff, most famous for her song Personally. Carla Bonoff will be performing on Saturday, February the 7th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. That's Carla Bonoff at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida on Saturday evening, February the 7th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. Here's a good one. I've enjoyed this guy's music for a long time. Great songs. When I first got into radio years and years ago, terrestrial radio, the first big song I remember from Christopher Cross, and I was in radio at the time, just getting into radio about the very year that song came out. Christopher Cross and a song called Ride Like the Wind. And on that same album, he had a great hit called Sailing right after Ride Like the Wind. Christopher Cross in concert in 2026. Christopher Cross performing on Thursday night, March the 5th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. at the Florida Theater in downtown Jacksonville, Florida. Also, Foreigner with Lou Gramm and Night Ranger at the St. Augustine Amphitheater in St. Augustine, Florida on Friday night, April the 17th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. And yes, this is the big one. JC, this is absolutely the big one that I want to tell you about. JC. We might need the drum roll and the bongos for this. We might need it. The drum roll and the bongos from our executive producer JC. Here we go. Here we go. Journey. That's right. Journey will be. And this is the final, it's called the Final Frontier Tour. Journey will be performing. And it's not Steve Perry. It's the guy, the Filipino singer Arnel, that has been with him for really many years now. Journey performing on Saturday night, May 16th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena right here in Jacksonville, Florida. This is a show that's going to be at the big arena, JC. Here's a big one, Journey, Final Frontier Tour. Everybody knows Journey had lots and lots of songs. And I'm gonna see if anybody's listening toward the end here. JC, I would love for you to play a song by Journey for me called Feeling That Way. The song is called Feeling That Way. Great tune. It's called Feeling That Way. Maybe, JC, you can get it on your show, live from the pub on Thursday nights at LakeUvalleHits.com. Maybe Mad Max will beat you to the punch on Wednesday nights. But I'd love to hear that song, Feeling That Way by Journey. Again, here's the big one. Journey, as part of the Final Frontier Tour, Journey will be performing on Saturday night, May 16th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And that's a look at not all the concerts, but most of them, and the ones I would be interested in going to, the ones I would recommend. So check out those shows. Absolutely check out those shows out there throughout Northeast Florida and surrounding areas. We're about 39 minutes in. We're going to wrap it up now. Episode show This has been episode show number 78. I want to dedicate this show to the memory of a great Jaguars fan, Lehman Northway, who sadly passed away. And as I understand, I just found out here recently, but he did pass away. It's been like a month or two ago, a few weeks ago. So we dedicate the program in memory to the late Lehman Northway, who lost his battle with a disease he had been suffering from for a good many years, actually. Well, the Jaguars, we're looking for a win at home against the Jets. We'll see what happens. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening, and watching to watching and listening to the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 78. And we've been eloquently produced by our executive producer, JC. Also, Alex Nunnery. Alex is on vacation, JC. Can you imagine that? I think he's up in the mountains right now, having fun. And Alex has seen some snow up in the mountains. And what is our vacation for Alex Nunnery? You could check our YouTube channel. You'll see a lot of high school football reports from Alex on our channel. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Any comments you have on the Jaguars, SEC football, the college football playoff, no Notre Dame in it. On our screen there, we've got the games coming up and the teams getting buys, the top four teams getting buys. Indiana, who won the Big Ten, Georgia won the SEC, Texas Tech won the Big 12, and Ohio State at 12-1, runners up in the Big Ten. Obviously, those four teams should be there. The other 8 teams include these games. Ole Miss will play Tulane in a first-round game, and these games are coming up in just a few days from now. Ole Miss will play Tulane. Alabama will try to get revenge against Oklahoma in a first-round playoff game. James Madison, some people would say, what are they doing in the playoff? James Madison at Oregon. You know, I kind of like some of the mid-majors getting in, but James Madison at Oregon. The Miami of Florida Hurricanes, who probably are thinking, man, we're lucky to get in. Notre Dame didn't get in. Miami of Florida will play Texas A&M, who deserves to be in. Texas A&M only had one loss. Their one loss came to Texas. Miami of Florida will play the Texas A&M Aggies. So Texas A&M, they finished their season 11-1, and now they're playoffing. That's right, the Miami of Florida Hurricanes versus Texas A&M. The winners of those games will move to the second round, and we'll have to start playing the 4 teams with buys: Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech, and Ohio State. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 78 in the rear view now. I want to thank our executive producer, JC, also Alex Nunnery, and our contributor and correspondent, Mr. John Gaylor. And don't even get me started on Michigan. Michigan's looking for a new coach. That's a whole nother podcast there, but Michigan's had some problems. The coaches had some problems. It's kind of like having the winning lottery ticket for the Michigan coach. He's got the winning lottery ticket, making millions of dollars, and just, lighting the lottery ticket on fire. I'll just leave it like that. You guys have a great day. I'm Scott, your host for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. This has been episode show number 78 of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Hey, as I take another sip of this coffee, great coffee boy. Knew I had to get that in here at some point in time. You guys have a great day. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 78. Go Jags! Duval.